This TikTok is from Moshe Safdie. He's a architect from Israel, and the title of this talk is called "How to Reinvent the Apartment Building." And why I choose this TED Talk is because I am interested in the suburban, in the building of suburban, and so let's get started. When in 1960, still a student, I got a traveling fellowship to study housing in North America. We traveled the country. We saw public housing, high-rise buildings in all major cities, New York, Philadelphia. Those who have no choice lived there. And then we traveled from suburb to suburb. And I came back thinking, we've got to reinvent the apartment building. There has to be another way of doing this. We can't sustain suburbs. So let's design a building which gives the qualities of a house to each unit. Habitat would be all about gardens, contact with nature, streets instead of corridors. It prefabricated so we would achieve economy. And there it is almost 50 years later. It's a very desirable place to live in. It's now a heritage building, but it did not proliferate. In 1973, I made my first trip to China. It was the Cultural Revolution. We traveled the country, met with architects and planners. This is Beijing then. Not a single high-rise building in Beijing or Shanghai. Shenzhen didn't even exist as a city. There were hardly any cars. 30 years later, this is Beijing today. This is Hong Kong. If you are wealthy, you live there. If you are poor, you live there. But high density it is. And it's not just Asia. São Paulo, you can travel in a helicopter 45 minutes, seeing those high-rise buildings consume the 19th century, low-rise environment, and with it, conjunctions, and we lose mobility, and so on and so forth. That's it. And I think the architect, which is Moshe Safdie, he's really he's really famous in this architecture area. And in this TED Talk, he introduced the building in suburbs, especially in big cities such as Shanghai, Beijing, and the developing country. And also, in the end of the part, he also introduced the suburb building in New York, in this developed country. What's the difference between those countries, and how the developing country should develop their suburb building in their own way. Yes, that's it.
So, okay. The first thing I have to say